everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. Today I thought we would do something just a little bit different. You know, when I started all of this, I called my videos What's for Dinner, and then we did a little thing. I was really chatty. And over the years, I have changed things up, and I've kind of streamlined how I do things and all of that. But today I thought, let's do something a little different. Let's cook our dinner together, and I'm just going to bring you along as I cook each component of our meal. And today we're going to make some baked salsa fish, some easy rice pilaf, and some sauteed spinach and mushrooms, and it's going to be super easy, totally company worthy or date night worthy, but it's only going to take about 45 minutes and it's going to be so delicious. I can't wait to show you how this all comes together. Tonight I thought it would be fun to do a cooked dinner with me. I'm just going to bring you along as I cook dinner, and we're going to chat about what it is. And this is a super easy meal, but it is company worthy, I promise. We're going to be making some salsa fish, some easy rice pilaf, and some delicious sauteed spinach and mushrooms. So what I have are 4 tilapia fillets. Of course, you're going to adjust this to however many people you're feeding. Tonight it's just Rick and myself because both girls are not here. And I have some salsa. This is just like a 15-ounce jar of your favorite salsa, plus we had Mexican food earlier in the week, and we had 3 little cups of their salsa because we did takeout that I had put in the fridge, so I mixed it all up in here. So that's a good way to use what you have on hand and not end up throwing away something that you paid for. I'm going to be using some chicken stock, some parboiled rice, and some orzo, along with half of a large onion and half of this container sliced mushrooms that has been washed. And we're going to make a really quick rice pilaf. That's what, there's some oil and some butter over here for that as well. And then for the sauteed spinach, we're going to use the remaining half of this container of mushrooms and all of this spinach, which will virtually cook down into nothing. We're going to saute that up in some butter with some onion and some garlic, and it will be good to go. We're going to have a nice, fresh, healthy dinner, and I just thought it would be fun to bring you along. So what we're going to do first is we're going to show you how we get the salsa fish going, because that's going to take the longest, and we're going to pop that in the oven while we make the rice pilaf and the sauteed spinach, because I felt like this would be a really great way to help. I know a lot of people who maybe new cooks have trouble kind of bringing a meal all together. Timing is everything, and knowing how to portion out that time for the dishes that you're making is super important. So you want to make the thing that's going to take the longest first. Now the fish can be done on top of the stove, but because I'm doing 2 other things on top of the stove, I'm going to put it in the oven today. So let me get all those things together and we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to start off with the salsa fish because it has to go in the oven, and then we'll make everything else while this is baking. So this is so difficult, you aren't even going to believe it. Such a hard recipe. Take your salsa, pour it in the bottom of your pan, and just kind of level it out. Then take your fish fillets and lay them in.
They can use whatever fish they want.
You can, and I was going to say also that I'm using tilapia. This is wild-caught tilapia, not farm-raised tilapia. This would be lovely with a flounder or a hake or a swai or any local like fish. Like here we get something called drum, and that would be good as well. This would also be good with a meatier fish like haddock or cod. So it's up to you. I think a nice flaky white fish is going to work perfectly here, regardless of whether it's a thinner fillet or a thicker one. Up to you. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some of this Greek seasoning because it's within my reach. I do want to make sure we season this. You can also hit this with some lime juice or some lemon juice if you like, but this is how I do it, and I like it this way, and everybody in the house likes it this way, so why mess with a good thing? So I'm going to pop this in a 350 oven. It's going to take between 25 and 35 minutes, and that's just the perfect amount of time for us to do the rest of our meal. So in the oven this goes. All right, we're going to get started on our rice pilaf. Now I do have a video that I made several years ago on how I make this. It's super easy. You can choose to make it with either beef broth or chicken broth or vegetable broth if you want to go that route. What I've got is a half of a large onion. It was about a cup of onion. and I've got 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of oil. Whatever oil is your choice. I use sunflower oil today. And then I just put in about a tablespoon of minced garlic. I do like to use that prepared garlic that you can buy. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take and approximate half of this thing of mushrooms. Now these are gonna cook down quite a bit, and you can take your wooden spoon and you can kind of break them up. And then if you don't have fresh mushrooms and you want to use like a can of mushrooms, just drain them and then toss them in here. It's absolutely fine. I've done that before and nobody minds. Just get these in here really, really good. And now I'm going to let these cook down before I put the rice and the orzo in here to toast. All right, our vegetables are just about where we want them, and now I'm going to add the rice. So that's 2 cups. I use par-cooked rice, and 1 cup approximately of orzo pasta. Now, if you don't have orzo, you can just break up some spaghetti, some angel hair pasta, whatever small spaghetti you have. If you have fideo in your cabinet, that'll work as well. Just get some pasta in there. Vermicelli will work too if you break that up. This, you're just going to, don't walk away, because you want to make sure that you toast this until you smell a toasty aroma. And that's just going to take a couple of minutes. And then you'll see some of the rice and the pasta will turn a brownish color, and you'll see that they have toasted as well. And then we're going to add our liquid, which I'm using 4 cups of chicken stock, and then I'm going to add an extra cup of water, because you want to make sure you've got enough water in there for the rice plus the pasta. You want to make sure that you have a little bit extra in there for the orzo, so that you've got enough liquid where everything is going to be nice and moist. So I'm going to go ahead and let this toast for a moment, and then we'll be back and we'll add the liquid. The pasta and the rice have toasted enough, and when you hear it kind of snap, crackle, and pop, for lack of a better description, then you'll know that it's time to, and you can see that some of this rice has toasted. You can see it's a bit browner than it was before, and that's when you know it's time to add your liquid. So this is going to be loud and steamy, so you probably want to step back for a moment. Okay, and our water, and it goes. And that's really as easy as it gets. Give this a good stir, bring it to a simmer, and then you're going to put the lid on it, turn it to medium heat, and just let it cook. It's par-cooked rice is going to take about 10 minutes to do that. If you use long grain rice, then you'll need to, cook it however long it is. It says to do that on the package, and that's usually 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a simmer. Then like I said, I'll put the lid on it and we'll get this steaming. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to saute our spinach. All right, we're going to get started on the sauteed spinach. I have I have the end of a stick of butter in the fridge. It's between 2 and 3 tablespoons. I just threw it in the pan and melted it. You know how that goes. I know you do that too. So I also have a spoonful of garlic, maybe a tablespoon. I would use at least a couple of cloves if you use fresh garlic. Whatever you choose. If you don't like garlic, leave it out. I was also going to tell you, if you don't like mushrooms, leave it out. This is not something where, whenever you see a recipe, in my opinion, it's just a guideline or a suggestion. It's just a way to help you understand how something should be. Now, unless you're baking, which is very, chemistry based, and you can't really change a whole lot in a baked good, when you're making something like this, the world is your oyster. I mean, come on. You can leave out the mushrooms. You can put shallots. You could put leeks. You can use more onion or less onion. You can don't do spinach at all. You could do zucchini like this. You could do broccoli like this. It's all entirely up to you. So what I'm going to do is put a lid on this. I'm going to let it steam for a few minutes, and then we're going to add the spinach, because I want these mushrooms to release some of their moisture before we start adding the spinach, because that's a big container of spinach, but it's going to make a little bit of vegetable side dish because spinach cooks down tremendously. So I'm gonna come back when it's time to add the spinach. All right, our mushrooms are where we want them, and I wanted to mention, hit this with a little bit of salt also. That will help everything soften up and release their liquid. So now we're gonna start adding our spinach. And it's gonna wanna go everywhere, so just make it behave.
Gotta force it.
You kinda do. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this spinach in the pan, and then I'm gonna put the lid on it, and I'm gonna let it steam for a minute or two, and then I'm gonna come back and stir it because it's gonna cook down rather quickly, and it's just super easy. Anyone who's made spinach before knows this. So really, I'm kind of catering to the newer cooks in the crowd who probably won't, you know. This is a super easy side dish if you're a spinach lover. I have to say, I grew up eating it and I love it fresh just like this. Also love sauteed kale. Not a fan of raw kale, but I love cooked kale. And it's really good just with olive oil and garlic. It's super delicious. So back to the spinach. I'm gonna go ahead and just let this steam for a couple of minutes and wilt down, and then I'll come back and I'll stir it, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like. And our rice is almost finished, and our fish, I've turned the oven off, so everything is coming together, and when I come back, everything's probably gonna be just about ready. And just like that, our spinach is done. Now, I did let it cook for a couple of minutes, then I came in here with the tongs, and I kind of flipped it so that we mixed everything in together, but you see how that giant container of spinach turned into this? It cooks down so much. Now you have a choice at this point. You can turn this into cream spinach by adding about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese and a half a cup of heavy cream and just mixing it in. Tonight we're just gonna have it like this with our fish and our rice pilaf. The other thing too, with the spinach cooked like this, if you leave the mushrooms out of it, then and you can make this as a filling for like a spinach pie, like a Greek spanakopita. So that's, you know, a lot of things can be done so easily that we just don't think about it sometimes. So our spinach and mushrooms are done. Our salsa fish is out of the oven. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, these fillets have cooked up. They're nice and tender and flaky. And I went ahead and I spooned the salsa over the top of them. And then our rice pilaf, I just turned off the heat. So we're gonna let that kind of steam for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna come back. I'll fix you a plate and I'll show you what we cooked together for dinner. Well, there you have it. Our Sunday dinner is complete. You came along with me as I cooked each component. We made our baked salsa fish, our easy rice pilaf, and our sauteed spinach and mushrooms. And I have to tell you, that spinach and mushrooms are amazing. And it's just the vegetables and a little bit of salt and a little bit of butter, and it's just so flavorful. I know you're gonna love it. This salsa fish is something that we love in our house. I haven't made it in a really long time, and you know, I also do salsa chicken, and you can do that too. It's really great in the crock pot. But you can make this with plain rice. You could do it really with anything you like. But I'm gonna have Rick taste it. It's super flaky and tender. And with all that salsa on it, it's going to be wonderful. You ready? Good?
That is delicious.
And it's going to be super satisfying, you know?
Really good.
I was thinking too, my dogs are playing in the backyard, so I apologize for that. This would be really good if you wanted to use a green chili salsa or a salsa verde. I think it would be delicious. If you wanted to use a chipotle salsa or whatever is your favorite. A salsa that has pineapple and mango in it is going to be delicious as well. That's going to give it a little tropical flair. But you can make this however you like and put your own spin on it. I hope that you enjoyed our cooked dinner with me tonight. Let me know if you like it. And if you do, then I will plan on doing more videos like this in this format, and we'll go from there. So I hope you give all of these things a try. I hope that you find it wildly delicious and successful, and I hope that you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.